Hello, team. Welcome. The season has almost ended. Just 2 episodes left. This is our test. But it can be an easy test. It can be a hard test. It depends on you. You can do the exercises by hand. My guess is that it'll take you about an hour and a half. Or you can get our buddy, our AI buddy, Mr. ChatGPT, to do these tasks for you. You should be able to finish in about 3 minutes. So let's see how we can use this tool to help us improve our English, study, and do a bunch of other cool things. All right. So this is the definition of technology according to ChatGPT. What are your thoughts? Technology is the practical application of scientific knowledge to create tools, devices, software, and systems that solve problems and meet human needs. Sounds good to me. And I don't know if you have used ChatGPT before. I played around with it a little, really liked it. I thought it was really cool. I'm not that worried like many people are. I think with most new technology, there's a learning curve. People need to learn how to adapt to it. Then it becomes part of our culture. I remember a time when we didn't have one of these in our pockets. And teachers would be like, oh, you won't have a calculator in your pocket when you're older. Well, kind of do. So it's just something that will become natural to us. So let's see. Our first challenge, our first question for your test. We're going to be practicing those 3-sentence stories that we did earlier this season. Start by describing what was happening. For example, I was floating in the ocean when something bumped my leg. I hadn't seen the shark approaching. I punched it in the nose. So we get your 3-sentence story using all the past forms. And then what can we do with your story? Here's your challenge. Pick a fictional world, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Twilight, whatever it is that you want to pick. Pick an actor, an actress like The Rock in Harry Potter. And maybe I'm going to go with comedy just because I think it'd be entertaining to see The Rock in wizarding clothes. And get ChatGPT to extend your 3-sentence story into a Hollywood blockbuster, Oscar-worthy movie using your extra facts. Also, I'm not going to give you the answer. I want you to figure out what command you need to give to ChatGPT to turn this into a story. Exercise number 1. Objective number 2 is the 3 trials. Those who know me know that I'm a big nerd, and I love me some Dungeons and Dragons. My trusty dice are over there, and you can either roll a d20 on this site. A d20 would be a 20-sided dice, or you can just pick 2 numbers from 1 to 20, and here is your test. Let's see what we have. Write a formal email to a client. It can be difficult if English is not your first language. It can be difficult in your own language writing a formal email. Well, with ChatGPT, you can do 80% of it in about a minute. Then you can just finish up adding some details that you find important. Create a jingle for your work. I created a jingle for a friend of mine's coffee shop. Gráfica Conceito. It was an excellent jingle. Very, very Charlie Harper-ish. Let me see what else. Pick a famous fantasy world. Write some fan fiction in the form of a short story. Sure. It's always sad when our favorite stories end. It doesn't have to end anymore. The AI can continue Tolkien's work, can continue making J.K. Rowling Harry Potter stories for all of us. And I'm sure you've heard of the problems with this. This picture was generated completely with AI. And there was a lot of controversy, people getting angry. The Pope was wearing, his gangster jacket, but it was all fake. So there are some bad things that can come with well, it's not the abuse of technology. I think it's the human stupidity can sometimes go crazy. So be careful. Check your facts. Number 3, your English routine. We talked about creating your English protocol, your English routine. Well, what can ChatGPT do for you? Maybe you might be stuck not knowing how you should organize your studies. Give them the parameters. Oh, I can study 3 days. I don't have much time, but I can study a little bit in the bus. I can study a little bit when I'm drinking coffee. I can study a little bit while I'm having lunch. Whenever it is that you find appropriate, I need to focus on this. Tell it, let it help you to develop your English study. Conversation starters, like always. Ooh, let me see. I'm going to go with this one. The controversial question, number 9, always the most controversial in the PDF. Should kids be allowed to use ChatGPT in school? Well, yes, I do think they should. Like everything, they shouldn't be just allowed to use it, but the goal of a school is to prepare a child for the future, and I think this is a relevant new addition to our world that should be introduced. What are you going to do? Just pretend it doesn't exist? I mean, do it responsibly. I know in Italy it's been banned. I think in Luxembourg it has been allowed. But so we will be able to see how what happens, see the results afterwards. But I remember when I was in school, it was cell phones, calculators, TI calculators, and all this stuff that they wouldn't allow you to use, and it seemed kind of silly. If you're the operator, you need to know how to use this technology, and if you can't, you're not going to do well on the test. But if you can, you should be able to use the resources available. So that's my take on number 9. How about you? What do you think? Should kids be allowed to use ChatGPT? Probably better than Instagram. They shouldn't be allowed to use social media, and they should be allowed to use ChatGPT. That's what I think. That's my controversial opinion. But last up, your challenge. It's alive, like Frankenstein. So how can you use ChatGPT in your work, in your school? Mr. Brano, I know he used it to help him on a geography assignment at school. I know more than one student of mine has been using it to help them with emails to clients. I have a friend who used it to create his workout for him. There's a lot of things. So how can it help you? That's your challenge, team. That's it. I hope you did well on your test. From now on, if you use Google Translate, I'm calling you lazy because we have a much better tool, which is ChatGPT. And if you're going to be using the computer to help you with your English, use it as best you can. Team, that's it. And I will see you next week with our game.